Oh, everyone's
Go
looking
on.
at me. Okay.
Reintroduce yourself.
All right. I'm Mod Aiza, the Associate Director of Community and Social for Old School Runescape. Very long title. But essentially, I run the community team, the wonderful folks that engage out with you in terms of feedback and make sure the developers have all of the info that they need to make the updates the way that they are. And yeah, I've been at Jagex since like 2017, apart from a small break that I had where I pursued a career on Twitch. That's me.
Yay.
Hello, I'm Mod Ash. I'm a product manager. I've been acting as product owner on Sailing, and I've been around Jagex in one job or another since 2004 and played RuneScape for 2.5 years before that, including being a forum mod in my spare time. Gosh, all these people look so young to me sometimes.
It's the moisturizer, Ash. That's what it is. Secretly, I'm really old inside.
And I'm Mod Kieran. I've been at Jagex since 2015, over 10 years now. I'm the design director for Old School Runescape, and I also playing when I was back in 2007, been playing since, pretty much. So, long time, long journey, and, well, we've reached our destination. Sailing's coming.
So Aiza is my boss, so it feels weird questioning you, Aiza. you're on the hot seat. My first question for you is, how have you found the process of, polling an entire new skill, basically from green light and refinement? What can you share with us about your thoughts of that and how essentially the strategic changes have influenced the way that we have polled Sailing?
Sure. So first of all, long. It has been very long, but I think it's been worthwhile. A serious answer is looking at it strategically. One of the first things that we wanted to make sure when we looked at bringing in a new skill was that we avoided the mistakes that we'd made in the past, in that it was never going to work so well if we just presented another skill that was fully fleshed out in terms of design and expecting you to just accept it and take it on and run with it. So the decision was made really early on that the first thing we would do is we'll just make sure that people actually want a skill, get us that approval so that we could go ahead and then build out a process that allowed people to have input all the way through so that there were multiple checkpoints. Before we even started looking at designs, it was a case of, do you want a skill? And then if you want a skill, what types of skills would you be interested in, which could then help form better designs, which we then, came forward with in terms of the initial green light of, do you like these skills? Which one of them should we proceed further with in terms of the design? And then should we actually add it? It really was just about making sure that there were multiple touch points where if people really didn't like what we were doing, they could say no, and that we would turn back on that and we would move on to something else. I think before we even looked at the new skill, we wanted to introduce like the whole green light process generally in terms of design development because we had one of the issues where we would find more often than not, we were developing things that were already too far into development to incorporate a lot of player feedback. Our game's built on player feedback, right? Especially when it comes to the polls and people having their say. So it was important to make sure, that there was plenty of chance for that to happen before it came in. I think looking forward, in terms of like improvements, I think if we go to do another skill, there's going to be a lot that's going to be different, but also a lot of it will stay the same. I'd like to follow roughly the same process, make it a little bit shorter, but also have a few more of those touch points. So if we do have, further close calls, for example, we have ways to further validate those and move forward. But overall, I'm really happy with how everything went down. I'm really grateful to have such a wonderful team, both in community and design, to have helped push through all of that. And even with art as well, early on concepting to showcase what these skills could have been, really helped sell the story of what a skill could be. Without that, all of it would have just flopped, I think. So yeah, great job to everyone involved and also to the community for sticking with us through it. It's been a bloody long time. There's been a lot of information shared. I'd be surprised if everyone out there has managed to keep up, which is probably a good thing because it means that you're going to go into the new skill and have something new to explore and experience for the first time, which is a magical moment that does not come very often in this game.
I think one of the coolest things about the sort of newer approach to the polling is that we don't have to reveal absolutely everything in the blogs. So there will be an element of excitement, exploration to discover on launch. Mod Ash, I would love to come to you next.
Hello.
I'd love to know more about creating the roadmap for players in regards to sailing. So what kinds of considerations go into that, and how much does or will player feedback influence that process?
Well, player feedback's got to be at the core of it, since ultimately, if it's not for the players, who in the heck else is it for? And also, nothing says player feedback like an actual player-designed island, which is our plans for next year. So what we've got to do is plan a 2026 that's addressing not just what players are excited to see for sailing that we aren't including on launch, but also trying to predict what players will be wanting in a month and a half's time when, say, maybe the shine's worn off a bit and they're starting to look for more variety in places. What will they be gagging for by Christmas time that we can hopefully be waving on the horizon for early 2026? So we've gone with trying to take one of the storylines that's coming in the launch tomorrow and taking that a bit further. And that involves some tech involving boats that operate themselves, NPC boats. And with that in development, we can hopefully leverage that to make a new kind of port task. And maybe that will be welcome variety when you've been doing the courier and bounty tasks over the Christmas break. So we'd like to offer that as part of the expansions towards the start of 2026. Beyond that, though, we'll have a bit more time because, yeah, with the best will in the world, logistics are also important for being able to deliver anything. That's why one of the reasons we can't start off the year with, say, a colossal new sea expansion and the player-designed island. It wouldn't be ready. But gives a bit more time, maybe into the summer, we can start working on slightly bigger things. Hopefully the player-designed island. Looking forward to seeing what that turns out to be. We've got another of the quests that we think would be right for a sequel by then, one of the existing storylines. And towards the end of the year, well, for the moment, as we've said in one of the blogs, we're guessing that players might be ready for us to expand into one of the other oceans that isn't out on launch. But we don't have to. Barracuda trials might be the hottest topic, so maybe we should prioritise one of those. Or if it turns out that you're actually comfortable with the amount of sea you've got and what you're really gagging for is more variety of styles of boat, maybe some Fremnik ones, some gnome ones, that kind of thing, maybe we should be exploring that instead. Come later 2026, we'll have hopefully more flexibility to deliver whatever it turns out you really are wanting. For now, we've put out a rough roadmap, and the reason we've done that is that people keep asking, quite reasonably, well, what are you doing next with it? After all, sailing will be going into a game which has skills that have expanded over 20 years, and with the best will in the world, sailing ain't going to have that level of depth and expansion on launch. Occasionally, players might say, well, why don't you just wait till it does then? So, well, because if we make you wait 20 years for this thing we polled like 2 years ago, you might, retire. I might retire.
Please don't.
Sailing is launching in a place that's like so far beyond where the other skills launched, right?
Oh,